the inside.
It's in one camera.
Oh, sorry, Faye. There we are.
Okay.
We are live. I don't know what's YouTube.
Just press.
They changed all this stuff. I don't know.
Press the 3.
Comments. There we go. There's Charlie. Good morning, Charlie.
Good morning.
So yeah, I got my broadcasting personnel in here.
Hello.
I haven't hired her, but she's been eating for free, so
it works.
Yeah. But she set up the camera angle this morning.
Yes.
And we have a second angle, which
we'll show whenever I start cooking.
Looks similar to that. Something like that. But we'll get to that later.
Yes.
But good morning, Rusty.
Good morning, sir.
How are you?
All right. Long time no see.
Yeah, been a couple weeks. Enjoyed our time off. I realized how much I put into YouTube because there was a lot of days I was bored. I had like an extra 2 to 3 hours a day that I was bored. And I was like, what is going on? And my wife said, you're doing YouTube. She said, I had like 8 or 9 videos to edit to keep going through the time. But I was just relaxing and chilling and didn't do anything. So it was very nice. But it was interesting to see how much time is devoted to YouTube or thinking about YouTube or, whatever. So
you got a lot of catching up to do?
Yes. Now I have, I sat down yesterday and edited 3 videos. Got 2 of them already posted for next week, and then I've got I don't know, 5 more to edit. So, what's up, Dwayne? But it was interesting to see that amount of free time, I guess, time that I use to YouTube or whatever. So that was interesting. But Happy New Year, everybody. This is the first Sunday in the new year. Don't have any resolutions to discuss because I don't believe in those. I think it's great that people do things to try to start the new year, but I want to do them not because of the new year, but because I want to do them. So how was your time?
It was fine. We a lot of family time, a lot of work time. The majority of the time was spent with family. I mean, we didn't go anywhere this year. We went to our cousin's house Christmas Eve and did the family Christmas Eve dinner. But other than that, we all stayed at home. We didn't do any kind of traveling, and it was nice just to stay home and just spend that time together.
Yeah. Hey.
It was fun. I got to hang out with my boyfriend's family and kind of hang out more with them. And then I hung out with my family, and he got to meet more of the family. We had a great time. Yeah.
So, Pay, now you can tell us about your do we call it an intern?
Yes, but I'm going to do it while I'm cooking. Because
do what?
I'm going to start cooking.
Yeah, she waits until the week before she goes back. But anyway.
I'm making French toast breakfast sandwiches this morning.
Rusty has a cold. Don't die.
How do they know?
Because your voice.
They can hear it? Okay.
Yeah, he's been laid out with, he got the crud.
I got really sick December the 29th. 29th, 30th, and 31st was bad. The 31st is my wife's birthday. I felt like I was hit by a pickup truck, but still took her out on her birthday and everything. I got up on the 1st, and I could not breathe. I went straight to the hospital because it was a holiday and my doctor's office was closed. Went in there, my throat felt like raw hamburger. If I turned too far to the left or right, my throat would close up. I couldn't breathe. found out I had RSV, so they gave me a big steroid treatment, and then I got all that stuff now at the house. Yesterday was the first day I was able to actually stand up and walk around in 5 days. I almost didn't make it here today, but I felt good enough. I just, my voice is just gone. I still got a slight cough, so if I cough during the show, I'm sorry. But yeah, I'm getting over the RSV bug.
Yep. Fortunately, the crud hasn't hit us yet. Yeah. Knock on wood. But it's been going around. Scotty's got it. His whole house had it. Oh, the wife's bringing me coffee. Morning, honey.
Good morning. Do you want this left over there?
No, I don't even have it plugged in. Back to Pay in the studio. Thanks, Rusty. Yep. Going back to Pay. We got to act like we have a microphone. So now we're back to Pay in the bear cave, and she's doing. What are you doing, Pay?
I'm cutting the bread to roughly about an inch thick, 3/4 to an inch thick. We're gonna use this bread because it's cheaper to just cut your own loaf for French toast. So I cut about 5 sandwich worth, so 10 pieces, and we're gonna put them in the bowl over here. I'm going to show that, and we're just gonna kind of make our batter for our French toast first.
There you go, Pay.
So we're gonna set these aside, and we will put. So that's the 1/4 inch or like 1/2 inch to 3/4, maybe an inch thick. Just saw motion, pretty simple. Follow through, and you're good. So now for the batter: 2 eggs, about a cup of milk, a tablespoon or teaspoon to a tablespoon of cinnamon. Mix it together with some heavy cream, and that's your batter with some milk. Go ahead and
It looks like it will be good. Well, thanks, Dwayne. It does look like she was kind of excited. I had something planned, and she said, "Yeah, I know, I don't like that." And I said, "Well, then what do you got?" And you're making it. So this is mainly for her boy.
Well, I've been wanting French toast and making it sandwich.
There's
easy.
Yeah. So I guess I couldn't. It'd be nice if I could. I can't really change the camera angle because I can't. Let me see.
What are you trying to change?
I just want to turn it this way a little bit so they can see what you're doing.
Okay.
Because I got you in the chop. So we're trying to shoot a little bit differently, different camera angles. So I really want to play with that a bit this year. It's not a resolution. It's just something I want to try. Let's see. So New Year's. What New Year's tradition did you guys do? Or do you do?
We don't do anything.
Do you have any menu items?
No.
Okay. What about y'all in the chat? We did the traditional German and Southern menu. We did our sauerkraut with pork, and then the wife made taters, mashed taters, which I didn't have any mashed taters, but kraut and pork was amazing. Took the pork loin, put slices about 3/4 of the way through, all the way down about an inch apart, and then came back and stuffed a slice of apple and onion in each one, and then put it on top of the sauerkraut that had an onion in it, and then put it in a bundt pan because that's just the first. I just thought it'd be funny, so I had the bundt pan, and I had sauerkraut, the onion, and then 2 pork loins with the apples and onion slices, and then put it on the grill.
So that's what it looks like when it's all mixed up. You should have bits of cinnamon. If you decide to use nutmeg or ground clove, it makes it better.
Yeah.
I just didn't want to use that.
Ground clove does not make anything better. Nutmeg, yes. Ground clove, no.
I don't know.
Saw some fireworks. They were hard to see because of tall buildings in the way. Too cold outside. Yeah, we had some fireworks. There were some guys that shot off down here in the neighborhood, but
we had Stouffer's frozen lasagna. That was our New Year's dinner.
Dang. Yep. Charlie says black eyed peas, collards, cornbread, and ribs. Yep. We had. I did fix some collards. The black eyed peas I do differently. I do a Kent Rollins poor man's sausage recipe. I tweaked the seasonings because I used a little Uncle Steve's. But that turned out pretty dang good. My dad was in, and he's like, "This may be the first time I've had collard greens, and it may be the last time." He wasn't a fan of collards, and I have bacon in my collards, and we had the pork loin, so and the cornbread. Boy, I like cornbread.
And that's one thing that we don't eat at the house. I mean, I just don't like cornbread for whether it's the sweet kind or not. I mean, cornbread is just something that I just do not eat.
Yep. Yeah. I don't know. I like it, especially like the next day, and then I get a bowl of milk. And I'll put a couple pieces in a bowl of milk, and it's about the only time I drink milk.
But Teresa's dad, he would take cornbread and crumble it up in a bowl and pour milk on it and eat it like cereal.
Yeah, exactly.
I never heard of that in my life until me and her started dating.
Oh, I like it like that.
If I want cereal, I'm gonna grab me a box of Captain Crunch.
But I don't want cereal. I want cornbread.
Okay. It just made no sense to me.
Yeah, there's no difference. The difference is it's cornbread, not cereal.
You won't win the fight.
Made cornbread, you just take and swipe butter on it and then eat it like a piece of cake or something. I mean, it's just one of the things. I've just never been a cornbread fan. We never had it growing up. I can't say never. Mama would make homemade pinto beans or chili, and she would make cornbread, but we didn't even eat it then. Only her and Dad ate it. Me and my brother really didn't touch it.
Yeah. Oh, I like cornbread. Now my diabetes doesn't like cornbread, but we will have to talk about that because I did have to go to the diabetes doctor on New Year's Eve. She put me on a shot about a month ago, a GLP-1, and I was a little nervous because who the hell? And I had to ask her. Who the hell starts somebody, a new diabetic, who starts a diabetic on a new medicine during Thanksgiving, Christmas week, month? Really? And, it was just terrible that the week we were at the beach. My inner fat kid won majority of the snacks and all the junk. But my A1C did drop 0.9 of a point. So, yay!
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so I was surprised and very much relieved. So that's good. Scotty, what's going on, brother? I hope you're feeling better. He's had the crud. So... let's see. So New Year's Day traditions, and we didn't do much else. Just laid around. Did have so December 27th was my 2-year anniversary of surveillance mode.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So that was the anniversary of ringing the bell. That was kind of a rough, emotional day. Just because you're like, holy crap, it's been that long. You can still feel the prick of the needle going into your arm. You can still feel the pumping, and it was just a mix of emotions. But I did take off. We were at Oak Island, North Carolina, and I did take off for about 4 hours. Didn't mean to. I just started walking the beach, and they called me and I didn't answer the phone because it was in my pocket. I didn't feel it go off because I got the ringer down.
Okay.
And so I come back and the wife's like, "Where the hell have you been?" I was like, "I'm just out walking. Why?" She's like, "I tried to call you." Well, she tried to call me like an hour ago. So she was kind of like, "Okay, what's going on?" And but it was all right. She yelled at me for being irresponsible because I didn't have my watch on.
She didn't yell.
That way, no, she did.
She reiterated.
Very loudly.
Watch on.
Very loudly. And because I don't, if my phone's in my pocket and I have it on vibrate, I hardly ever feel it. But if it's vibrating on my wrist, then I know, I'm like, oh, hey, something's off. What's going on? And I look at my watch. And
Right.
so she was yelling at me for not wearing my watch. But that's all right.
Yeah, I got me one of those smart watches one time, years ago. Every time I look down, I can't read the text messages. I can't read nothing on that damn thing. So I got rid of the watch.
Yeah. I like it, but, it's
it's a great idea, and I would have loved to have been able to use it. But me and my vision, I mean, it's useless to me.
Yep. You're more sundial. So I hope everybody had a great Christmas and a
Happy New Year.
Killer New Year. Kind of halfway the F3 group that I'm in. I went out 4 times this week. It's been a while since I've been out that much. But I did realize that the weight is still up a bit. So it's right where it was 3 months ago, but like it hasn't changed from 3 months ago, but from like 6 months ago, 9 months ago, it's up about 20 pounds. So anyway, the guys in F3 started a weight loss challenge. I didn't get in it because it's a $50 buy-in, to put some money behind it so you're invested, right? And they're doing it for 3 or 4 months, and they're doing by percentage. So each week you have to take a picture of yourself on the scale,
okay,
and post it, and then they'll do percentages because everybody's body types are different, So I don't know who's mathing, but I was like, I'll kind of do this on the side as a side challenge, but not to get in the money aspect. So that's just something to kind of look forward to, I guess. Something to try. So, and the wife wants more beef this year. She wants more steaks, more different cuts. So, might be doing some more beef stuff.
Beef is always good.
That's what she said. Like she literally said that. Not Michael Scott, but she literally said that. So I don't know what all that'll entail, but
who's Michael Scott?
From The Office. The show The Office. He's a manager for a paper company. It's like
the regional manager for the paper company.
Reality show type, but it's all scripted. But they do a lot of improv.
I don't watch The Office, so
yeah.
That's why I had no idea what you're talking about.
Yeah.
But other than that, it's been pretty laid back. Pretty laid back around here. Sounds like y'all were pretty laid back too.
Oh yeah. I mean, Christmas was, what was it, Wednesday?
Mm-hmm.
We had the tree, everything was put up and everything back to normal on Saturday.
Okay.
House completely de-Christmatized and put back in normal.
Yep. The one thing we didn't do this year, Pete, was the birthday cake.
Yeah.
Might be the first time in
all my life.
Yeah. In 20 years, we didn't do a birthday cake.
But, so I have news.
Ooh, tell us. I already know.
I know. So, over my winter break, So from December.
Speak up. Speak up.
So for about a month, I've been interning at the radio station / news broadcast station in town, and I've been writing stories that are going on the radio. And Monday and Tuesday, I'm interning with one of the producer guys in the broadcast section where they do like the on the news for cable, and hopefully I can do work there, and then that gets put onto the news, or I kind of get them because of you guys and YouTube. I have more well-roundedness in different things in production and in communications, and I hope that I can do more of a summer internship with them and hopefully get put either on the news or sent out and do interviews and write a story on like assignments to go out and do or something like that.
Was this CN2?
Yeah.
Awesome.
And in the summer, I'm going back for the internship and getting my course credit for it in the summer.
Good job.
So this is kind of going to be like the job out of college.
So she had made a comment that she needed to do some editing, and I was like, "Oh, hey kid, I have about 9 videos to edit." Yeah, not what she wants. She wants to produce her own and then edit. So she wants to soul creativity and all that. So
I'm looking to start more of a professional-ish type of thing. So like I'll do maybe a week run with me or something, or something more sustainable with college because I'm taking a boatload of classes this semester. But I realized I'm becoming more of an adult. I went to the store yesterday and I bought containers and a lunchbox.
she was so excited. Come see my storage containers in my lunchbox. And I was like,
I was like, do you want to haul
okay.
what we got? Because I got Five Below. I got a salad container, and then I got a bento box that comes with its own silverware and its own divider. Great. And then I went to Walmart to look for a lunchbox. I got this cheetah print lunchbox, black and gray, with like a little ribbon on the side. And then I got nesting containers so they all fit inside each other, so it won't take up much space. But my goal this year is to cook more, so I'm trying to do that. And then I got
I know a channel you can watch to learn how to cook.
Well, I know how to I know how to cook. But so I think today I'm going to run around with me because me and Mama Bear are going to go back to school / college shopping so I can get it out of the way and packed up.
What?
Because, yeah. Yeah.
Shotgun shells next weekend.
Those are good.
Ooh. We may have to do those because I still want to make those keto ones.
Right.
But
I've made them a few times. I'm just not a fan. There's too much work and they're not worth the effort, in my opinion.
Well, Scotty's going to come up with something different that'll make them worth it.
Well, then I'll have to try something different.
Yeah. So, Scotty, you're going to have to come up with something different. Taco or something like that. Use taco meat, stuff them in there or something. Sloppy Joe. Ooh, if you use Tom's Berea Sloppy Joe. Beria, whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, you guys know what I'm talking about. But if you use his Sloppy Joe, stuff it in there, and then top it with like an enchilada sauce or an al pastor sauce. Boy, that could be some good eating.
I put a little twist on the white chicken chili last night. I pretty much used the same recipe that we used whenever we made it here on a couple weeks ago, but I didn't make it keto because I added corn. Because I was watching some videos while I'm laying down in the bed and coughing and hacking, and I used a cornstarch slurry to thicken it up. And one of the recipes I saw on Facebook was you take your bowl, you fill it with the chili cheese Fritos, and then you pour the chili over the Fritos, and then a handful of shredded cheese on top. And so I made a slight variation yesterday with just by adding corn and putting it over corn chips.
Yep, that sounds good. Yep.
And I made a big double batch because I had 4 pounds of chicken breast, and put them on the smoker and just shredded them up, and it was good to go.
Well, it was good to get home because at the beach we had a charcoal grill, and then there was another one that was like it was just one of the square ones that's like at Walmart.
Right.
But then they also had one that's like at a campground. And I was like,
the big circle on the ground.
No, it was the stand up.
Oh, stand up iron grate with the big big slots in it and stuff. Yeah. Okay.
So I was like, okay, I could do this, but the menu options didn't allow me to be anywhere near the kitchen.
Uh-huh.
So they pretty much told me to stay the heck away. You're not doing nothing. Relax. So I did that. And I ate like crap. But that's okay. We're getting back on track, and let's see. So when I got home and it was New Year's, I was playing with the Weber kettle because I was looking at putting the Chef's Temp S1 on it, and I wanted to see with the modifications that I'd made, doing the raised cook rack and the deflector plate basket deal, how much space would there be? I was going to make a video, but I didn't. How much space would there be between the probe end and the cook rack? Because the probe is longer than a normal standard probe.
Right.
And it left about 2 inches. And I've got mine in the center of the top, right in front of the handle. So you
open that cheese, please, Rusty.
So you catch the heat coming across. So anyway, I actually just took the raised grade brackets out, and
you just put a handful right here.
I actually ran the butt pan right on the cook grate, and didn't have any issues with any clearance issues. So that was pretty good.
Any more?
Yep.
So might end up doing a little video on that, just as another way to use the S1. Put it on the Weber. I didn't put the fan on there because I just didn't feel like drilling a hole yet. And the wife won't let me get a whole new kettle just to put this on there. I don't know why.
I'm going to wash my hands. I'll be right back.
All right. Be careful. Hey, babe.
Hi. Chop it open.
Yeah, let me see if I can slide over here to open the door.
I was trying to walk over there and do it, but
while I'm gone, watch them, please.
There we go. Oh,
Orchie board.
I love that guy, the Swedish chef. Don't you have the tip-top temp thing? Actually, I do. I do have the tip-top temp, and it's still in the Amazon bag. I opened it and I pulled it out, but I haven't done anything with it yet. I'm so lazy. I'm kind of glad I didn't reach out to the guy and promise all this video content if he sent me one, because I haven't done anything with it. But that's on the list of things to do, because my one drum that I put the S1 on, I don't have any damper on the exhaust. So once I pull the magnets off, it's wide open. So I'm kind of curious to see if that tip-top temp will run a drum. Because so what's his name? Meat Cranium did it on a Bronco. So it'd be the same.
Yeah.
So I do got to play around with that though. In fact, I'll get it while it pays out.
Okay.
Oh, so, in fact, here it is. Comes in this nice little box. Ta-da! So this is the base. And then this is the insert. Comes with the little clips to clip it onto the Weber kettle, the exhaust damper. And then this is where the magic happens. This is the dome and the dial. So you hit this. The spring is like made out of bimetal, so as it heats up and expands, that's what opens and closes it. So it's kind of a neat science idea that I don't quite understand all of it, but the bimetal thing is how it works. So as your metal heats up, it expands, it turns it and coils it. As it cools down, then that's what moves it. So it's all by spring tension and of the bimetal and your temperature, how much it expands and contracts. At least that's how I think, which I've been told a lot recently that that's not, that I'm wrong. So it's okay. I got called out not on YouTube comments and on Facebook and stuff that my understanding of certain things are wrong, and that's okay. I don't care. As long as it makes sense to me. But yeah, so that's coming up at some point.
So, I don't know. Well, we talked about New Year's resolutions, but what we do, well, me, Mama Bear, and Bear Cub, we do words. So, like, what's one word that you want to describe 2025 of how you're going to be?
Yep, the word of the year.
Word of the year. So mine is growth. I want to grow, like, mentally, physically, professionally, just academically, as a person. If I can get some height, that'd be great. But yeah. What's your guys' word?
Well, last year mine was hope, and I think we did that. I don't know. I've thought about that, and I hadn't gotten anywhere yet.
Yeah, I've never even thought of it. It's kind of a hard question to pop off right at the last minute.
Yep,
That's something to take some thought.
It's kind of, your word of the year, and like some people do the growth, some do. Just
like and it could be anything you want. Like Nolan, hers is shadow. I helped her come up with it. She wants to kind of look at where she's going, where she's been, and kind of reflect on herself, like your shadow reflects you. So it could really be anything, but drop it in the comments. Kind of, because once you speak it out, you kind of add that into your life, kind of thing.
Yep, Mama's kind of like, we're moving forward. We've had a lot of stuff go on in the house and around the house and the last couple years, and a lot of it we don't talk about, but a lot of it we do, and some of it we do. But so she's looking at doing things differently this year, which is fine. So is there anything you want to do differently this year. Not a resolution, not a just something you want to do differently than what you did prior.
Yeah.
One main thing, and you and I have talked about this a lot. I spend really way too much time trying to make sure everybody else is happy. I need to make sure that we are all taken care of rather than making sure everybody is happy.
The hard lesson that I had to learn was being a dad. Dad doesn't mean financial responsibilities.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you're not there, it doesn't matter what your financial thing is.
Right.
If they're taken care of financially, then they don't learn. What they really need is that time and those lessons learned during the hardship.
They need to struggle. If I'm constantly there, I guess, feeding them everything that they need and not making them work for it and earn it themselves. There's not very much of a life lesson being taught there.
Yeah.
Yep.
Like if you always pick up like toddlers, they don't want to walk. They don't learn how to walk. But like he's letting me, like I've called him and I'm like, hey, what do I do? I don't ask them for money because they're paying tuition. I figure out rent and I figure out groceries by myself. But I was like, all right, I need to get a budget together. All right, what can I make with the canned veggies I have? Like, and that's what Bear Cubs learn into is like you gotta struggle and like talk to them about what's going on for them to say, hey, this is what we did. Try
Right.
this. This is what you could do. So once a month, I go grocery shopping, and I'll get pantry and like canned goods, and because I can make anything
Oh yeah.
from the fridge. Like I truly can make whatever. So doing that, like right now I have shrimp and $10 like bags of chicken in the freezer at my apartment with veggies. I can make 4 or 5 meals out of that. I can make breakfast with that with just eggs. Like it doesn't.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't have learned that if I didn't have to live in the dorms first and be like, well, everything's closed and I only have canned vegetables in a microwave.
And she normally cleans out our pantry and freezer before she goes.
I remember those days.
Yep, and that's fine. What about you? So we are talking to you, Paige. So Charlie said his word is monkey.
Okay.
Yeah. So he's going to eat more bananas and slinging poo.
Care less about others and just swing through life.
Yeah. Swing through life. There you go. Like a spider monkey hanging from his tail.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we're going to try to. I want to travel some more. Like, little weekend trips.
Yeah. To come see me?
Possibly. I mean, hell, you're home every 2 months.
Not this year.
Or
not this
but
year.
little weekend trips. I think we're going to do more of this year. I want to. I mean, my driving is still very limited, so that kind of hurts things. But
you drove 2 hours.
yeah, traffic was absolutely amazing. Very little of it. No construction, and mainly back roads from Florence home. So it was about an hour and 45 minutes, 2 hours.
When you went through Florence, you stopped at Buc-ee's?
Oh yeah.
All right.
We stopped because to get to Oak Island, Oak Island's about 45 minutes to an hour north of North Myrtle.
Okay.
So we had to go through Florence to get there.
Right.
So we stopped at Buc-ee's really quick on the way there because the wife was too excited to get to the beach. All right, whatever. We stopped in. My dad got a taste of Buc-ee's. He'd heard of it, but he'd never seen it. So he got a little taste of it, and he was like, this is overwhelming. So we did our week, and then on the way home, we stopped because it's kind of the halfway point or so. right close.
Right.
So we stopped and went in, got sandwiches, and walked the whole store. And I mean, the old man was overwhelmed, and
It's easy to happen.
it happens. And Rex enjoyed. I did bring home. I bought an extra brisket sandwich and brought it home and actually shared it with the dog. He enjoyed it very much. So, Pace should travel abroad as a poor college student. It's an eye-opening experience.
See, I could travel abroad. I talked about it last year for my senior year, but I'd rather not travel abroad because America's like what I know.
Who's that reporter that goes to all them places? It wasn't after Geraldo.
Geraldo Rivera?
Yeah. He went through like Desert Storm and all that stuff. And then there was another guy, real big news guy, and then he went and he was doing a bunch of stuff over in Iraq and Iran. But she could be like that. You know, that could be kind of crazy.
I could, but I mean, I would rather stay where I know, focus on what I'm doing to get a head start, and then.
Yeah, she's not ready to travel abroad. North Carolina is about as close as she's gonna get.
Maybe. Oh well, I go to Ohio. It's abroad.
You're not studying.
No.
You're partying.
Allegedly. But yeah, I've thought about it, but I have more kind of holding me in Rock Hill. So that if I do decide, it'll be a conversation rather than, hey, by the way, I'm going abroad. It'll be a conversation of what's going to happen. Yeah. But right now, I don't see myself going abroad.
So are you looking more towards radio or TV?
Well, I don't know. I haven't been in the TV section yet, except for like couple hours in high school. I don't know. Preferably, I want to be well-rounded in every section of communications so that I can get all the things that I'm looking for, and kind of be able to go wherever.
So should we do more morning lives where you're cooking breakfast and just chatting about everything to kind of get you ready for the news world?
We can. That's up to you. It's your channel. You know, like it's not up to me.
Well, I would do it if you wanted the exposure, but I'm not going to do it myself.
And you can create yourself a morning news channel.
Yeah.
And get up.
The mornings with Paige.
Yeah, get up at 5 a.m, scour the internet for your knowledge. 6 o'clock, start your show. Hey, in the world today, we've got this.
And then you make breakfast for the boy while you talk about the news. You got to stand in the camera, honey. You keep sliding away.
I know. I want
You smile big and then you disappear.
So for class, I have to do a website, and I'm going to have a lot of stuff on there. I'm going to put different videos that I've edited and publish type deal. And then blog posts, because I do love to write, and I'll do creative writing on there, and then some news stories just to kind of have different things on there.
Your professional account?
Yeah, my professional. So what you guys have grown up, or seeing me grow up and be kind of kooky crazy, I will not be kooky crazy on there. But I will have some quirky one-liners and all that kind of thing. My quirky one-liners have gotten on the radio before, which is very fun. So yeah, working on doing all that and kind of making it news more fun.
And speaking of quirky crazy, a couple days ago, I was going through YouTube. I came across an old video of you and Nolan in the backyard making macaroni and cheese. And I said, man, that was 6 years ago. And I'm sitting looking at how small y'all were, and I had to make a little post on there saying, man, this really brings back memories seeing y'all 6 years ago doing mac and cheese.
Yeah.
Crazy, isn't it?
I know.
Yeah, I was talking to a guy the other day, and I was like, we've been on this YouTube almost 8 years now. Like middle of February is 8 years.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Um.
So what are your thoughts about corporate media versus online news influencers?
So newsfluencers, they share the news, but they also want your attention. They want to grab you. They want to make you come back for more because they are influencers that are spreading news. It doesn't matter what news they're spreading. It could be false news.
So let's make it more specific.
Okay.
The Today Show versus a YouTube channel.
Okay, so
like a Joe Schmo who's reporting the actual news that he's getting offline versus like Today Show.
So with someone on YouTube that's doing the news, they have to be very diligent and kind of do it basically as they find out, and they need to have the clips of the actual thing happening or something to back up their story. Because YouTube, you don't have any credibility.
Information, you got to have your information.
Right. And if one person analyzes your YouTube, the video, like let's say about there was a car wreck. Well, if you have any of the information wrong, you're not getting any credibility. Nobody's going to watch you anymore because you ruined your own status. With the Today Show or any newscast like scenario, they double, triple check. They back up accounts. They do all this to make sure they're not spreading false information because that's how you lose the click-throughs. That's how you lose the watcher, like the viewers.
And
they have credibility to where if they don't say anything, then everyone's going to look back. Or you're going to have a YouTube channel that's going to go, well, today's was false, so let's go back a year and see if this was false. And they're going to kind of tear you down from there. So you have to be credible.
Morning, Terry. How are you doing, buddy? And also, I think he's kind of getting at is the corporate news reports things based on their funding.
Their advertisers.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So if they're, as we've seen, everything is left, then they're going to report left, right?
Yeah.
Everything's going to have that left agenda than what's actually going on.
Right. And I've said this to everyone that I've talked to about this. If I'm asked to fabricate or view someone in a horrible light, I'm not doing it. It's against my value. You don't diminish someone's character just to get a view, just to get a paycheck. That's just not what you do. So in my light, I'm not doing it. I have no problem quitting a job to.
Well, you say that now until you're paid and your check that your house depends on.
Right. And like that's the thing is I've talked to different people and they're like, your values are going to change. But if my values change in the future and my household's depending on my check, then why am I going to tell my kids to your values you stick to if I can't stick to them? Right. I'm setting it like that's the thing.
No, I get you. It's stuff you're going to run into.
Yeah.
In practicality, it sounds really simple, point blank right now.
Right.
But in the heat of the moment, whenever you're making $100,000 a year and they say you're going to report this story or you no longer have a job, that's whenever your good intentions are really going to toy with your brain.
And that's why being well-rounded for me is such a big thing to do.
Oh, yeah.
Because if radio is like, I want you to do it in this light and we're going to shit, like, pardon my language, but like crap on all the other people this way, do whatever else you don't have a job. Well, okay. I am also good in the news, like in TV. And I can also do public relations. I have job offers at other places. Mm-hmm. I can do this, and this. Thanks for the experience, but I'm not going to throw my morals away to do that.
So the Today Show versus Joe Rogan.
Okay, Joe Rogan,
Oh no, I'm just kidding.
I was like, he just kind of does whatever.
Yeah, and that's what makes it nice. And Grandpa really likes Bill O'Reilly for that same thing. So Terry's in. He said somebody broke into his truck, stole all his carpentry tools. Wow, man, that sucks. Hopefully they catch the fella. Or fellas.
Or females.
Yep.
I've been here.
News and media literacy. Literacy is something everyone should learn. Yeah. I mean, you got to be like, we watched the Ohio State game, of course, and we were watching the post-game interviews.
Yep.
And, Peyton noticed a few of them were like, what was the way you said it?
They're very well spoken and like media trained.
Media trained, yeah.
So like they don't say anything bad about the other team. They say very heartwarming team things. They're very well spoken. Like once you start learning about it, you pick up on what he said. It was a great game, even though it wasn't really a close game, because they don't want to start a rally or rival with the other team. So they're going to say...
Well, you just don't want to talk bad about it. It's good sportsmanship.
Right, it's good
but
sportsmanship. And there's that media aspect. Like with the Ohio-Michigan game, they're going to get the biggest media outlet there because of the fight. And they're going to play that up because it doesn't matter the post interviews now.
Well,
you want to see someone fight because that's what they've done for...
And you like the when they get on there and then the newscaster or the interviewer asks kind of a, what were your thoughts on this play? And he says, well, I'd like to thank God for the opportunity to do this. Like he completely dodges it.
Right. Because it's the media train.
Yeah.
If you don't know the answer, you deflect and you get out. If you don't ever say no comment, because then you look unreliable and your company looks messy. It just depends. So those are my thoughts.
About $2,000 worth of tools. Ooh. Well, I think there's still some Christmas sales going on.
I got an extra saw.
Yeah, you guys traveled all the way to South Carolina. We'll feed you.
Yep.
So we had to replace some door handles on the back door. I had to replace the deadbolt on, and then to do that, the wife wanted me to take the one off the front door, which meant she could get a keyless entry. So, all right, fine, no big deal. Well, the boy being in the carpentry trade, she's like, "Here, do this." So him and Pay worked on it.
I was gonna do it originally, and then he thought I'd fuck it up or mess it up,
and
which I didn't.
Yeah, so I give him the drill, which the battery's about toast. It holds a charge for about 15 seconds. And he's using this drill, and as he hits the trigger, sparks are flying out the back end where the motor is, which is normal. It's been doing that for 5 or 7 years.
That's some worn out brushes back there.
Yeah. And he goes, "Oh man," he goes, "I'm going to die using this." And I said, "No, you're just fine. But this thing is older than you are." And he was like, "What?" And I was like, "I got this drill back in like 2000, 2001, 18-volt Craftsman. I paid $130 for the combo with it and a circular saw. And it's on its second, like it came with 2 batteries. Both of them are shot and gone. And this is the third, the first replacement battery I bought. And it needs another one. But anyway, it was just kind of one of those. I was like, dang, I've had that for 20 years. Like it's older than my kids and their boyfriends.
And the reason he had to go through all this is because while I was watching the dogs while they were gone that week, coming in to feed the dogs, I broke the key off in the tumbler in the back door. So they had to remove the tumbler from the front door to move it to the back and then put the keyless entry on. But for some reason, I don't know. I mean, I've opened this door 100 times, but this key would not turn. I would not twist. I could not get the deadbolt open. I kept turning left and right, and finally the darn key just broke off inside the tumbler.
It happens. So when we got back, we that was the first thing the wife did was, oh, okay. So we I got the key out, but when I pulled the deadbolt out, I was trying to get the broken part out of the slot. All the springs and all the insides fell out, and I was like, "What is that?" Well, so when you slide it in, it's got the
pins.
Yeah, it's all that stuff hit the ground. I was like, "Well, crap. What do you do?" I don't know how to put that back together. I mean, I could put it back together, but I didn't know how everything went to make the key work again. So I just, whatever. Noli, what's up, Cubbo? She's at work. Cubbo, what's going on? Paige's making some dinner, breakfast. Ooh, what is that? I don't know what this is.
Just press the X.
When did this happen?
I don't know where it happened. It's two. You want to rock with it?
Okay. All right. Well, that was something.
I'm adding buttermilk to the eggs to make it a little fluffier.
Madwood, dang, man. He didn't have any numbers or pictures or anything, so the cops and the insurance said there's nothing they can do. He's just out.
Yeah.
Wow, dude. I don't know. We'll save you one, Cubbo, if you really want. We'll save you one.
No, we won't. I'm going to eat yours. Matter of fact, I'm going to eat yours first. Then I can eat mine.
Well, last night she came home from work and she was like, chicken tenders, let's go. Because I made chicken tenders. And she didn't like the honey hot sauce. And I was like, okay, cool, whatever. Well, she goes, where's the rest of them? You're home late after work. 2.5 is all you get.
So talk about these chicken tenders, because this was a huge deal and undertaking. Like, it was a redemption cook, but how we it wasn't like store-bought chicken tenders. I mean, we bought chicken tenders, but she breaded them herself.
So
brined, breaded, and fried in a Dutch oven.
So, first, the redemption part. My boyfriend loves fried chicken. And I don't want him going out, like, buying fried chicken every day. So, or every week or whatever. So, I was like, you know what? I have these chicken. I put them in the fridge. It's been like a day and a half. Well, they didn't thaw. Well, I was like, you know what? It's going to be fine.
Not yesterday. This was prior.
This was in,
a month ago.
Yeah, this was when I was at school. And I was like, oh, you know what? It'll be fine. So I'm breading it. Egg wash, flour. Well, the flour was self-rising flour, not all-purpose flour. I was like, you know what? It's fine. They're the same. They're not the same. So
it'll be okay.
So I did that. Threw them in there, and I did a shallow fry. I would much rather deep fry chicken than shallow fry chicken. And it was soggy. It was raw, frozen. Like, he bit into it and got a raw piece. And I was like, okay, so I'm never cooking this again. But I went on TikTok and found Teeny. She cooks on TikTok a lot. And she did these honey hot tenders. And I was like, okay, like, this is, like, these have been sounding really good. I'm going to make a list and ask Mom Pop to go to the store, grab that stuff for me so I can make them. So I make them, and the first one's already come out better. It was a buttermilk with a bunch of seasoned marinade. I left it in there for like 2 hours because that's what we had to work with. I wasn't going to leave it in there for a day. But I am next time. And then deep fry them. first batch came out pretty dark because the oil was too hot.
So what did you learn on the first batch?
Start it low. Don't let, because the thermometer we're using isn't calibrated.
I don't think it is. So I used deep fryer probe, and I probably haven't used it in like 4 years. So I need to calibrate it, but it gave us a good point where you can tell how your oil, whether it's hot enough or not. So we had it up to 350.
About 300, which the actual temperature was definitely like 450. So whenever
I don't know if it was that high, but
it was hot. But whenever I put it in there, instantly dark. I was like, okay, I was ready to like just dip, basically, just shut it off and leave. Because I was like, I'm not screwing up chicken again. So Pop came over or whatever and helped me out.
Because I knew she would have trouble on an electric stove with a Dutch oven and grease. And so I was around, and the thermometer I had, I don't put a whole lot of trust in it, but it gave you a good gauge to know where your oil's at. So where it said 275, that was probably 3 1/4. I would say because of the way it acted, 325, 3 1/4. But what had happened was when she put it in there, of course, temperature rises at first, and then it starts coming down. Well, she's like, she was going to leave it be. I was like, no. Turn your heat down. Turn your heat down. This is
how they turned out.
Yeah, turn your screen something or other down. Mm-hmm. But so she got it looking really good. We salvaged the first batch. They did come out dark, but not burnt.
Right.
We salvaged them. So the next ones came out like golden brown, like Cocker Spaniels.
So that was really good.
Yeah. So she did learn a little bit. Like I wouldn't trust her to deep fry again without a little bit of more paying attention.
Yeah.
So Charlie says pickle juice for 1 to 2 hour marinade. Perfecto.
And I'm gonna leave that to you, Pickles.
No, we'll get there. Well, yeah, I mean, that's something else I want to try to do is more brine like chicken, like a sweet tea brine. I think that'd be really cool. Be a great video. Pickle juice brine would be really good. So
I've done that before because Tamara, she's just crazy about pickles and pickle juice. And so I made homemade chicken tenders one time, and whenever she finishes pickles, she leaves the jar of juice in the refrigerator.
Yep.
Because she drinks the pickle juice.
Yep.
And so I put, I don't know, 5 or 6 chicken tenders in the pickle juice jar, tightened it up, shook it up, and just set it in the refrigerator for a day. Then I made her pickle juice marinated, chicken tenders, and she loved it.
Yep. So, but Pay redeemed herself, and the boy couldn't stop eating them, and you could see his face light up as he's looking, thinking, my girl just made this. Because his grandma, he stays with his grandma, and they fry chicken all the time. So he's got a certain standard of fried chicken.
Oh, yeah.
Aside from Bojangles.
Grandma's fried chicken is the fried chicken.
Yes. So for Pay to nail a deep fried chicken, not a shallow fry, like I normally pan fry, shallow, but to do it deep fried, I think we've only done it maybe once or twice.
Maybe.
But for her to nail that, he was his eye, you can see the glint in his twinkle in his eye, like, oh, because he nailed it.
Which
she nailed it.
Yeah, this is also big because I also made homemade fries and shallow fried those, and they were the best, and he still talks about them. So, I'm doing more homemade stuff. I'm trying to at least.
What was you made homemade taco seasoning?
Yeah, that.
And he thought that was, what was this, effing fire?
Yeah, that was fire. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to do more homemade stuff. My TikTok has realized that, so it's sending me more recipes, more like how to make homemade applesauce, what you can make in like 6 apples or 8 oranges, kind of fruit that you can make so many different, like apple cider, applesauce, that kind of thing. Orange juice, candied oranges, just to save a buck, kind of thing. And also to save a buck, I'm caving. I'm doing it. I'm gonna make my own sourdough starter, and that will also be something to document. I'm gonna do.
Now, ironically, one of my cousins set a sourdough starter home with Cub a couple months ago, and now that it's long gone and deceased, Pay wants to start one from scratch.
Yeah, just because I think it's a lot easier, and I can make more things. Like if I want bagels or biscuits, I can just use that, and it's your own basic like lifetime supply as long as you feed it.
I've heard tales of people that have had them for a sourdough for decades.
Yeah, like even like with like let's say this was sourdough, like the rest is batter, you could add flour and water and make it sourdough starter again. Yep. Like you don't need much at all, which is great.
Charlie's had his starter for years.
Yeah, like it's more cost effective. All you have to do is really just buy the flour, which I'm not worried about buying flour. If I can make cookies, Cheez-Its, like you can make crackers, like you can make a whole bunch of stuff.
You can do that with cottage cheese too. Oh, Honey Badger's not in, but when he goes to watch this later, maybe, there's a guy called Cooking with Dave. Keto Mike and I have talked about him several times. He started a store, Dave's Kitchen, and basically it's a place where if you got stuff to sell, vintage or like resell or whatever, kitchen items, you can sell it on there. So the guy doesn't know me for nothing. So, but if you, that's somewhere James could get into with his cast iron cure. Mm-hmm. I know Tom ordered some cast iron cure and it came in. I'm going to order some probably next paycheck, next payday.
I'll have to get some too.
Order some, yeah. You order the cast iron cure off eBay is where he's got set up. So
okay.
But we were talking on the phone a couple weeks ago, and he was talking about he's kind of pushing it. He's doing really well with it, so I highly recommend it. It's his own blend. He usually makes it while he's watching our show, and that's what he told me. And look up Bake with Jack Scroppings method for sourdough.
Okay.
Look up that, Faye. I don't have my phone to take a picture.
I'll look it up.
Jack Scrapings.
Scrappings.
Scrappings.
Scraping.
Scrappings. I don't have anything to write on. Let's see if I do.
Okay, I have everything baked or cooked. I'm just gonna go ahead and assemble it on the grill so it heats up again.
Okay. Do you want me to change the camera angle?
Yeah, go ahead.
How would you like me to do this, kiddo?
Yeah, go ahead, change the camera angle.
Okay, let me write down Jack. Well, my pen's frozen. Well, that one's frozen. Let's try.
Here, just take a picture and I'll send it to you.
There we go. Jack Scrap beans. I guess that would have made sense there, Rusty.
No waste, no discard, okay.
Sourdough starter. You know, and I don't know how that would work. How the wife would react to the sourdough with her gluten intolerant stuff that she's got going
Well, I
on.
think you can make it gluten-free with gluten-free like bread dough or bread flour.
He's a good bread channel. Okay. Yeah, we'll check him out. Definitely check him out. You want me to change the angle?
Yeah.
There. Whoa, that looks huge.
You want to run inside real quick?
That looks good.
You want to run inside and grab Jordan?
You want him to do a taste test?
Well, yeah, he told me to let him know. So.
All right. Boy,
You gotta
you're
yell.
being called. Time for taste test. It is.
And then I'll just toast.
He said, "Oh, fire!"
I'm just gonna toast these up like regular toast in case you want
You got
that.
your phone? Let me take a picture.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, turn it sideways so it'll make a good thumbnail.
And I'm gonna grab a different knife.
Oh, boy, yeah, no waste. Okay. Oh. So there's been talk of somebody doing a YouTube channel on just their sourdough, like it has its own name, and I've heard this. I don't know for sure. Like I haven't looked it up, but or I think it's its own Instagram. I don't know, but it's the starter, like when they feed it and all that stuff, and then how they split it, and then whatever they make with it that time. Again, I could be wrong because I normally am. That would be kind of cool pay. Once you have your YouTube or your own account, sourdough account.
Yeah.
So, Charlie, let me ask you. And anybody else that, ooh, that looks good.
And this is the one that's filled with cheese inside.
Okay. So let me ask you this. On French toast, I saw the video of tons of YouTube channels that exploded during the lockdown. Yeah. Bruce Mitchell, from Swamp People.
Oh yeah.
He does the Blackstone cook.
The alligator man on the bayou.
Yeah. So he was doing Blackstone cooks, and he made French toast, but his hack, so to speak, was
Coffee creamer.
And yes, coffee creamer instead of your milk or buttermilk or whatever, and flavorings. Y'all ever tried that?
Yes.
Okay.
Quite a few different times, and it's because you can make it multiple different flavors at breakfast, and it's just so simple, so easy, and you've got the coffee. Well, if you have the coffee creamer anyway for your coffee,
Yeah.
you have your French toast to go with it. I mean, it's very, very simple.
If unless Paige's in town, we don't have coffee creamer because Cub is very selective on her creamer, and the wife doesn't use it. So
I'm not trying this.
yeah, I hollered at him. He said, "Okay."
That's
You want the other?
Peyton.
You want the other?
Cannot wait to eat.
Let's swap this over, P.
Okay.
There we go. Oh no. No powdered sugar or Uncle Steve's dessert shake, so
Nope.
that would be good though.
Damn. There's not a crunch from the French toast. You guys want to try it?
Well, you got to describe it better than just it's good. So when I was watching
the patty with cheese in it is good. The cheese on top and cheese in the eggs, very cheesy, which is what I like. Bacon's crispy. It's not super crispy, it's burnt crispy, but it's crispy-ish. I would put the bacon on the bottom, then the eggs, and the sausage next time, just to have more of a crunch.
So flip it over.
The way I built it, I would change.
Oh, I was like, just flip the sandwich over.
But no, you can see all parts of it.
Okay. Yeah.
So you see the cheese middle, the cheesy eggs, the bacon, and then the French toast top and bottom.
Okay.
I like it. It's very good. Not much seasoning, but it doesn't need it. This one doesn't need it.
What other flavors do you get?
I use Jimmy Dean hot. It's not really hot at all. It's fine. Not super sweet. It's all pretty savory. If you want it sweet, add brown sugar or regular sugar to the French toast batter, and that'll give you exactly what you're looking for, what you want. Even regular toast, you can even, I saw this morning, build your sandwich and then dip it into the batter and make it like that.
Oh, like a Monte, what is it, a Monte Cristo?
Mm-hmm. You know, like that. Up to you, however you want to do it.
So Charlie says coffee creamer is heavily processed, usually made of water, sugar, and vegetable oil. Yep. And that's, a lot of people are surprised when they find out that there's oil in coffee creamer.
Mm-hmm. I knew that.
Yeah, you do, because I used to
work in it.
I used to process, package the oil that went into it.
Mm-hmm.
So.
But yeah, very good. Try it. Put your own twist on it.
We're good.
Tag me or pop in it, and we'll look at it. Try it.
Yep.
Yep.
Well, all right.
Come up and grab a bite.
Huh?
Grab a bite.
We'll cut that 1.5 again. So.
Yeah, just come up and grab it. Take a bite. Pop, you can have part of this bite. Mine.
So one thing when I was watching the show, Next Food Network Star, they would have you do a taste test like this, and they would say, describe it without saying it's good.
Yeah.
Because your definition of good is different than Rusty's.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he just destroyed that damn thing.
It was about to fall.
That was a Godzilla bite. Six hours later, he's still chewing. I just want a small bite.
Here, just take a bite of mine.
There you go, Charlie. Cherry. Noli. Scotty.
It tastes really good. You get the
There you go, Dwayne.
the creaminess from the batter inside the bread. So the bread has still got the crispy texture on the outside, but still soft and moist on the inside. I'm really surprised that the Jimmy Dean sausage doesn't give more flavor. It's usually full of spices and flavor, but it doesn't overpower this at all.
I got just enough heat from the sausage, just enough.
And
It's
usually
crunchy. It's not overly. It's not sweet. I kind of figured it'd be a sweeter.
And I'm thankful that you didn't douse it and cover it up with syrup before you tried to eat it.
Mm-hmm.
Because I fully expected you to do that.
Well, all right then.
Yeah, it's really good.
All right. Well, I give that a thumbs up. Yeah.
It's also very filling because it's a big breakfast just in a sandwich. So if you make it in the morning, make a couple of them for the week, and then you have a full breakfast or whatever you're gonna work.
Yeah, I would wrap some up in like a parchment paper and then put it in the fridge, like in a Ziploc and then in the fridge.
Mm-hmm.
That way you could pull it out, throw it in the microwave for 30 seconds or a minute, 45 seconds, and then send the boy on his way.
Or aluminum foil to keep it hot.
Well, if you're going to put it in the fridge for...
Well, like, afterwards, too.
So, looks really good. Looks really good. Nice cook. Oh, please make me one. It looks so good.
All right.
All right, Cub, you're getting the next one that she's heating up right now. Yep. So, all right, y'all. Well, we're going to get out of here. That was a pretty darn good cook. Thank you, Cub.
Welcome.
P Cub.
No,
So, since she was little, we used to call her P Diddy. And...
Or Diddy.
Or Diddy. You know, that was kind of like just a thing, right? Well, now with all the
Things.
news that the guy's been in, she is refusing to be called Diddy anymore.
For a good reason.
So, all right, Cub, we'll see you around. We'll see you this afternoon.
All right, sounds good.
All right, well, send us out of here, Cubbo.
All right.
Pedo. PD.
No, don't say pedo. It sounds like pedo. Okay.
All right, P, send us out of here.
All right, y'all. Thank you guys for watching. Have a good rest of your day. Be safe. Everyone have fun. Remember, there's always two rules in cooking. Did it have fun? Did it taste good? Rock on. You, my friends, are awesome. And we'll see you next week. Later.
Have a great week, everybody.
Have a great week, guys.